Gentleman is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank the gentleman from Florida for yielding. This is an issue that will bring me to this floor every opportunity I get. I believe I would be the one member of this Congress that has lived underneath the oppressive burden of the Davis-Bacon Act the longest and been impacted by it the most. There's a second-generation King construction that's impacted by this now, not of my interest. The gentleman from Minnesota knows how much respect I have for him. I appreciate him bringing up Herbert Hoover, and Herbert Hoover did sign this Davis-Bacon Act bill. It was about the same time that he was initiating the beginnings of the old New Deal. And I don't agree with either one of those decisions of Herbert Hoover, but I will defend his legacy when he's right. This time, Herbert Hoover was wrong. And here's the reason. It is this, that we should, as consenting adults, have a protected right to enter into an agreement of our choice. If two consenting adults sit down and decide, if I want to work for my neighbor for $10 an hour, what business is it of this Congress to tell me and my neighbor that I can't do that job for $10 an hour? Under the 10th Amendment, the federalism concept, the powers that belong to the states stay with the states. This reaches across into the Constitution, and it says to the states, this revolving fund, even if it's your own money, you can't make those decisions any longer at the state level. You have to let the people in Congress make that decision, which I know they're going to go back and say, well, this is a prevailing wage. Well, no, it's a union scale. If it were a prevailing wage, you wouldn't need to have the Department of Labor looking in to keep all of these records. I've had them come and ask me, what are we paying our people? Sometimes it's more than union scale, sometimes it's less than union scale. It depends on where the job is. But if you report the prevailing wage as a merit shop contractor, which I've spent nearly 30 years doing, you can bet that the union organizers will show up at your door. And so for that reason, smart merit shop contractors don't submit themselves to that kind of organization. They just don't report the prevailing wage. So it becomes de facto union scale. That's the reality of this. And my numbers are this. This is out of King Construction's books. The additional cost when we go into a Davis-Bacon job is between 8 and 35%. It depends on the region and it depends on the amount of materials. This reaches down into this and tells the states, you're going to have to pay this for the remaining states that do not have mini Davis-Bacon laws, like Florida, like Iowa. It imposes a federal Davis-Bacon wage scale then on all of us. I have not heard a rational argument that upholds the side of the Davis-Bacon side of this, those proponents of it. I stand in support of this amendment. We cannot take away the 10th Amendment rights of our states to do business as they see fit with their money. That's a violation of the Constitution in my view. There has to be a rational argument, but I'll add one more argument to this, and that is Herbert Hoover may have signed the bill, but this is the last Jim Crow law that I know that's on the books, and that can't be defended.
Gentleman's time has expired.